What's up, everybody? We're back here for episode 60 of the Pitside podcast. We've got it straight, I promise. I know it was confusing last week, but we got it right. And this is a really great episode. I think it was a little bit better than I even really expected. We got to talk to John Heyn for a little bit about a lot of different stuff we've got going on in the league. Yes. And then Kevin Fry is going to check in with us from the RC Chili Bowl. He's our first race trackside reporter, right? So we're going to have a bunch of features. So we'll get started here in just a minute.
Welcome to the Pitside podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the Coast to Coast Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Here's your hosts, the A-Let Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bassman, Craig.
And we have a special guest here tonight, somebody that everybody's familiar with on and off the track, either out in the dirt or up in the booth. John Heyn joins us today. How you doing, John?
Not too bad. Trying to just kind of get through the COVID thing, but other than that, you know what? It's been an interesting season so far, without a doubt.
Yeah, and this is your second bout of COVID, and you had the shots, right?
Yeah, fully boosted, and thank God for that. The symptoms have been fairly mild, just some ringing in my ears and fatigue. But other than that, I overdo it from times. We ran a topless race earlier, and I can already feel that I'm ready for bed.
I agree. You did overdo it. I didn't like it.
Yeah. What we didn't touch on here, you didn't mention, is that I think you won that topless race. Did you not?
I did. Surprisingly, Terry and Preston have just dominated that thing all season. So I'm not. I think they must have felt bad for me and let me get out there and win one.
No, and Barker's been kicking our tail too. So it's not just Terry and I anymore. Yeah. Jack's right there too. It's a bunch of us.
It's like a five-way. The points are in, and it's like a five-way chase there. So and it could be more guys. That once the drop weeks get figured into it. So
I don't know how many weeks Spees has missed, because between traveling for work and his second honeymoon where he's at now, I know he's missed some races, and he's pretty competitive in those things too.
Yeah.
So what we really wanted to talk to you about was the amazing new adventure that we've taken on, or you've taken on. And again, I can't say enough. I had to go to Kingston to pick up a car today, so I always, you run out of things to listen to. So I'm listening to an old podcast, and we were talking. That was as we were at the notes for the new season, and we were talking about this new racing school and how it would go. And now we're 5 weeks into the season, and it's going.
It is. I know we've had, I don't know, 16, 18 drivers signed team. 19 drivers. Yeah, and it's cool, as somebody that's helped a few of them, and I use the word help loosely, you hope it helps. But, the funny thing is about this, and is what I do in a car could be different than you do or Preston does, or what I do may not work for one of you guys. So, if I would always tell these guys, and the guys that I've worked with, look, if what I'm doing doesn't help you, get another one. We've got a multitude of guys in there now that are helping, between Stephen Goldner, Nick Vickery, Spees, when he gets back from his second honeymoon. You've got a lot of guys that have a lot of experience in the sim, are really good in this league, and I think each one of our driver styles are just a little different too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of trophies on shelves with those four drivers you named. So it's. I was thinking about that today. It's just like it's the cream of the crop from the league. So it's very much appreciated, and I know the feedback's been great. You and I were just talking before we went into the session. Brian Lawson did a session, and did he win, or did he just get a podium, or what was it?
I've been so hectic this week. It was sometime last week, and I don't know if it was one of the modified races. And I can't remember if he finished first or second, but he was up there. But he's been strong. And in all fairness to Brian, though, even when he came into the class, I was like, man, I've raced around you on the track. You're not that far off. And that's the story of this league. I mean, if you look at our qualifying orders, a tenth and a half can take you from being in the top five to being to the bottom. I mean, completely missing the invert. I mean, it's that close, and you're talking maybe adjusting your line by 1.5 feet, 2 feet, 5 feet, whatever, entering the corner, and boom, all of a sudden you're up there. Throttle control, all this stuff. I mean, when it's all that tight, the littlest thing can take you from a old saying, taking you from being a hero to a zero. But Brian, it was cool to see him up there for sure.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Bob the Good yesterday, and he's been taking some lessons from Bergeron, which are a lot more expensive than the price you charge. But he was saying that he told him that he had a little wobble going down the straightaway, just a tiny wobble. And Alex said that's a tenth of a second right there, and it's all those little tiny fine control points. And I know I went out with you for trying to improve my times for the Knoxville Nationals, and my time came down listening to all your pointers, and unfortunately I choked when it came down to those 2 laps that count. But it did make me faster. So I haven't signed up yet for an official, but it's coming because I need to get my Volusia times down so I can make sure I get into those features. Start at the heats out a little better than 6th or 7th.
Yeah, and Volusia is definitely a lot of different things on the track because it's such an odd-shaped track. You can lose a tenth. Got almost every point on the track, with that, D-shaped track with the whole, down the back, getting out of the turn, how you sweep going back into 3. There's a lot there that you can lose time. It's almost like a road course, you got, 12 turns, but you can lose 4 or 5 tenths, just missing each turn just a little bit,
Yeah. So it's, there's still a lot of people who haven't taken advantage of this. It's free. Yeah. It's free in the league, and you've got the very best guys coaching. The process is very simple, right? You just go to the website, go to the driving school, the chalkboard that's I think behind you right now, and just go to that link and fill out the form. And I'm pretty sure you've always pretty much gotten back to everybody within 24 hours, initial contact.
Yeah, 24, 48 hours for most everybody. It's a nice process. As soon as I see them, we've got a nice check chain, and it's like, okay, who wants this or this? And you can even request. There's a drop down in there that you don't want to work with me. If I've made you mad on the track, that's okay. There's other guys that you can. there's other guys you can go to, and if we've all made you mad, now
go pay 40. Go pay Alex $40.
Yeah, or pick the lesser of all the evils that are in that drop down. So, you can. And like I said, you know what? If you work with one of us and you're still a little bit off or whatever, heck, go to Nick, come to me. I mean, go to a different instructor. I mean, nobody is going to be like, well, I didn't help him. It just goes back to each person probably teaches a little different, drives a little different. And, you get a little bit of from everybody. You can all of a sudden find your own thing and go. I mean, I know in real life, learning to drive and getting, having veteran drivers in my ear when I first started out, I had, information coming at me in boatloads from all these different drivers, and the funny thing is none of it was ever the same. And you've got to kind of wade through that to figure out, okay, so and so told me this, and you'll start to learn to apply all of what you heard into what you're doing, and then you're going to get quicker. I mean, that's what I really think will happen if guys use it. And like I said, if someone, you don't have that epiphany, that light bulb moment with one of our guys, hook up with another one. There's no one's going to frown upon that. And there's no limit. No one's going to say, you've already used your session for this season.
No, I think that's the important thing. It's like, for the guys that have taken the lessons, don't be afraid to come back for more. Whether it's a different category or just saying, I'd like to try somebody else, not because you didn't like the person you went with, but you want that second opinion or second view. And it's an easy process, and like we were talking about, you responded within 24, 48 hours with the applicant, and then you figure out best match or who wants to take him on, or if it's a request, and then that driver, the instructor, will contact the applicant and set up a time. And I know, like, some of them have been over 2 hours, from what I understand, like multiple sessions.
Yeah. I worked hour and 30 minutes with somebody the other day, and I don't mind, because whenever I work with somebody, I make sure that I have a good period of time to work with them and answer all their questions that I can answer, and all that kind of stuff. And I think all our guys kind of do that. I think for the most part, if you want to plan, we're not going to keep you all day and say, okay, try this. We're going to answer questions, listen to kind of, hey, where are you struggling? What are you doing when you're doing this? What are you thinking? Where are you looking on the track? And the normal time is about an hour. So if people are planning on it, that's about how long it normally takes to go through it. But if it runs a little over, it isn't like you're paying extra. We're here.
Yeah.
We don't mind,
Yeah.
So.
No, I know. Probably, the sweet time is now. I'm going to be applying for two things. One is qualifying times at Volusia, but the other one is just to get an idea on setups. Like, I have no clue. I get team setups, and I don't know how to build setups. But I do need to know the basics of, as the race goes on, the track wears in, what are the changes and how does it affect? So I'll be looking for one of those as well. So, and again, just shout out to anybody, like, this is valuable information for free. So, you don't have to go reading about it or search it.
And that learning the setup thing, I can't stress how important that is, because I'm not going to give you my setup for anything, and the guys are not going to just hand you a setup. But knowing what those things do, because I do the setups for Gambler for Monday night, and I set those cars up for me. And I've told my guys, everybody on the team, these are how I want to drive. Through time, Aiden and the rest of them have figured out the little things they can do and what they do. Yeah. So then all of a sudden they're tweaking the setups to match what they like to do, how they like to drive, how they like to enter the corner, work the throttle, because everybody has different equipment too. I mean, that can all go into the all that. So, that setup stuff is really, really important. We haven't had too many people asking that, but that's an important one.
Is it fair to say that if I went in just with a basic iRacing setup, that most times it's consistently like you would make the same type changes as the track wears in, whether it's a Volusia setup, Eldora setup, the Grove, or whatever. It's going to be the same type of setup. Now, I know because of the tracks are different, it'll be more emphasis on some part of that setup, but generally it's all, you're just going to walk away with some good general information of
school is in session. Everyone, pay attention.
Yeah. An example would be if we're at Lima, like we were tonight. Yeah. I would have, for the feature, I'm throwing a number out here, so don't everyone go set their cars to this. But let's say I have 13 degrees of stagger in that right rear. Well, then I go to Eldora, maybe I take a little bit out, and I'm starting with 9. But when you just like if you got a fixed setup or you're going into one of the open servers or whatever, that track gets slicker, you want to tighten the car up. So if you learn, okay, take the right rear spacing in, or take some of the stagger out, or move this bar up or move this bar down, that all affects it. And if you have knowledge of that, all of a sudden you can find that making those little tweaks, we were talking earlier how those tenths matter. Well, moving your stagger in can make a tenth on some tracks. Just that one little thing alone can do that. So, that stuff is important.
Yeah, and just to go back to that, what you're talking about, the tenths of seconds. We were talking about this before we went live. That the competition in the league, it's so tight now.
Yes.
You were saying, like, any race of the, other than Sunday nights, where Bob Light kind of owns it, but any race of all the rest, there's probably 10 different guys that are capable of winning those races at least. And those tenths of seconds can take you from the back to the middle or from the middle to the front. And it's been amazing. This season especially, I think more than ever, a lot of our new guys coming in the league are very competitive. It's getting tough. It's getting tough to get up there.
It goes back to what you were talking about, being qualifying being so important. It is just absolutely so tight, and when you get out on track, it's hard to pass. Not because the track's not racy, but everybody around you is competitive, and it really is. It's gotten tough. I pulled off a 4th place last night, and you'd have thought I'd won. I was absolutely pumped, and I'm not even on the podium.
Yeah, I know the hometown heroes. It doesn't, if we have 4 or 5 heats, it doesn't matter which heat you're in. You look at the top 4.
They're stacked.
I'm looking at the top, like, holy crap! I'm hoping, like, if I got a 5th here, I'm happy, because there's so much talent in the league now. It's just incredible, and but it makes everybody a better driver. I think there's that too. That I forget. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were just saying, I think part of the problem is everybody's getting better.
Yeah.
Some might argue some of us are getting worse, but
it's also what makes league racing so great. I mean, we've got people that are around you that you're familiar with. You know what to expect. You know who's running a little slow tonight and who's way above where they usually are, and it just adds a new element to the whole sim racing experience.
Yeah, and you guys have been in the league from day one. I've been in the league for a while now, so heck, I even know, okay, this guy is good at this track.
Yeah.
Follow him. Okay, this guy, this isn't one of his best tracks. Get around him quick, and the same with me. I've got tracks I'm good at, tracks that you probably want to stay away from me on, but the like you said, that whole league thing, that really, as far as iRacing goes, that can't be beat. I mean, iRacing probably cringe if I'm saying it's the open servers or blah, but the league racing, there's good points because guys can get frustrated because you might run into the same guy a couple times in a week. By the end of the week, you're ready to kill the guy. But that's what family does, right? From time to time. Yeah, well, it is absolutely. But then you see us do things like the charity races, and man, we all pull together. So like I said, it's one big family. We might have a couple of guys that want to go fisticuffs over here, but you know what? I can count how many times I wanted to deck my brother, and my brothers wanted to deck me.
That's what the 75 lap enduros are for.
That's right.
To sort out the brotherly loves.
Yeah. Except for the last one I think I did. I ended up with that one mad at the end of that. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but and we have those things, and it's cool, and those are wildly popular. If you haven't done an enduro race, go do them. It's a very unique experience. I've done 2, won, and I got murdered like every other lap the next one. So
you're a marked man if you've won one.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what it was, but it was it was tough the second go around. But I guess it doesn't matter any race. If you're winning, you're having more fun. So I guess that stands to reason.
So another thing I wanted to touch base on, because you are just killing it, man, is the whole broadcast. You and Nick both have added a great dimension. And now I don't know how you find time to race. I see you sometimes with Marty. I've seen you on VGN. I've seen you with Andy with Extreme E-Speed. I haven't seen you with Joe yet. That's the only one that's missing. But I think you've done time with all those other guys. So
I have, and for whatever reason, they keep asking me to come back.
Well, you guys, you're both doing a great job, and it adds a dimension. I think a lot of leagues, a lot of broadcasts don't have. And
I think you're right. I always try to take people. I mean, the key about broadcasting, you're just telling a story, and I can tell a story from the driver's seat basically because I've been in it enough to know what's going on every track. I know the drivers all well enough to almost know their mindset, their tendencies, and that's invaluable. I guess calling them. I plan on doing a lot more of them with Marty on Monday. Just the last couple 2-3 weeks have been kind of crazy between the holidays and then COVID. My throat was killing me on Monday. but yeah, I've worked with VGN. Even called a Grand National race on a Saturday night on asphalt, 100 lapper. That was you want to talk about a fish out of water. I had to practice in that car because I don't think I've been in an ARCA car in almost a year. So I had to figure out, okay, how do these things drive? And yeah, that was an adventure. But yeah, and we've got a lot of cool things coming up. I mean, from the broadcasting side, that last charity race we did where we had them all like wanting to do them. It was just so cool. They all donated their time. They all wanted to come in and do them. I think the last broadcast, the last night, was it? I think Marty was there. VGN was there. Everybody wanted to be involved. And the cool thing is these guys behind the scenes are starting to work with each other. Marty is now calling the VGN races on Saturday night for Lowell and that bunch. I'm working with Extreme, Speed TV with Andy. Yep. They've asked me Andy asked me, I don't know if I should be saying this. Sorry, Andy, if I'm not. But he asked me if I would be interested in calling a Sunday night Cup League. So it's kind of cool, and the funny thing is all three of these broadcasters enjoy what they do. They represent our leagues well. And I'll tell you this, I think you're going to see more voices other than me, like on the Hometown Heroes and that. Roger and I have talked, and different points of view are good, and I do have a few guys in mind to see if there might be some interest there. So hopefully we can, almost what you see on Fox. I don't want to emulate NASCAR, but you see different drivers in different races, throughout the season pop in there, and it's always cool to hear, 1 week Kevin Harvick, next week Brad Keselowski, because they got different points of view. They view racing different, and some of the stories and those little nuggets that they give, like the shampoo in the water trucks, or the detergent in the water trucks. Everybody's got those little stories, and it'll be cool to see. Hopefully we get a couple other guys in. I know Terry Landis had done a couple. Yeah. I hope to see him in good. And Nick has done a couple with VGN now. So, man, I tell you, on the broadcast side of things, I think we're just represented so well. And I've got to get a shout out to VGN for getting us on iRacing Live, because I think
I was going to talk about that. Yeah,
I really think we've had a lot of people join the league. I think between this, going out and starting, its reach is getting further. Our broadcasts are getting a bigger reach. That being on iRacing Live, I think people are seeing those big car counts on Wednesday and going, I want to be a part of that. It's been incredible to just kind of see those broadcasts.
Hey, Preston,
pay off
you
like
there?
that, I guess.
I think, you know what? We've got 4 broadcasters. They all have a unique style of their own.
Yes.
Marty does a remarkable job on Monday nights for sure. And then Wednesday nights, VGN, DJ he's an incredible voice, and whoever he has coming along with him. Yeah. And it's really, really well produced. Andy Piercefield, we got to give Andy a huge shout out, because he made, he has started from ground zero, literally ground zero, and is determined to be, one of the top broadcasting companies out there. And we all know he will do it. Anybody knows Andy, but he made a mega leap last week, and again, a unique style. It was you and him. It's not that intensity of like a DJ or a Marty, but it was like informative. It's 2 experienced drivers, real world drivers, who are passing on their knowledge during the race. And I really enjoyed Thursday night's broadcast. He made that giant step where, hey, I see where this is going now. And it's just, it's time. It's time behind that in the production booth, and learning, all the steps, one step at a time, continuous improvement, and he's getting there. But then I also got to mention, like, Joe Halter. It's a whole other approach.
Yeah.
It's really a Twitch, but it's a Twitch / broadcast, because it's broadcast quality, but it's from an admin perspective. Nobody does, I don't think, anything like that. It's not like your normal Twitch where it's a driver, look at me, watch me, look at me. It's somebody coming from the admin perspective and the overview of the race. And Friday nights have been highly successful. The Friday night lights with Icon, and I think we've seen a significant bump in the last month. I think we had like 25 new approved applicants. We had more applicants than that, but approved. And I'm sure those are two of the big significant reasons why is the work that Joe's doing and the exposure on iRacing. And again, if anybody sees what Marty's doing or on Thursdays, it's all good quality. So can't say enough about everybody.
That Thursday one was that was a lot of fun, and it's funny that you mentioned that one. I don't know how many folks out there have seen it, but that Manning cast that was on Monday Night Football on ESPN2. That's what that was very, very close to. And I would encourage anybody to go out there and look at it. But I think that's might be where we're headed. More of something like that.
Yep. Andy's not headed in the same direction as Monday and Wednesday.
No.
But it's just like different racers race different styles. It's going to be every bit as successful, and it adds a variety to our viewership. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah, and and as he gets more comfortable with working the buttons, because I've seen a couple times on Marty's feed, because I can see Marty, what he's hitting on his computer, and man, those guys that are doing the production side of things, there is a lot going on there, and to be able to call a race
at the same time,
do that,
it's unbelievable.
And I've joked,
I have a hard enough time with the pre-recorded podcast. I can't imagine.
Well, Lowell has mentioned to me before about, hey, would you be interested in trying that? And I'm like, man, if I did that, you would no longer see racing. You'd see the Heyn family, photos from our last cruise we took, bouncing across the screen, and nobody wants to see that. And Marty does both. I don't know how he manages to do it, and it's not that he does it and it's okay. And Joe did it too, but they do it well without a whole lot of hiccups. They bring everything. They catch all the action. It's above my pay grade. There's no way, it is really cool to see those. So those guys, when you watch those broadcasts back, or your family's watching them, the amount of work that goes into them, it should really, be appreciated. Those guys, Joe, Marty, Lowell's guys, man, there's a lot to go into it, and I think it's paying off for us, because every broadcast that we see, even though they're each different, they're all outstanding. They're all watchable. You watch them, and you're entertained. I think
an interesting observation, because they're all getting good views. But I think it was Andy's had the most views from last week. And that was like,
really?
I know he was doing well, but that was like, pleasantly surprising. So they're all doing an incredible job. I don't think the leagues, and this is no slam against Joe White, because Joe White served us well for so many years. And the gears didn't mesh for this season. The league's never been in a stronger position. I don't think just the quality of the racing, the quality of what's going out there, and the volume of it all too. I think we're in a really good place, and I'm in that comfort zone of week 4 to week 7, where it's I've got past the start of this season and I haven't started planning the next one. So, but before we let you go, the other one I wanted to talk about was you're a big part of the review committee. And what a great job those guys are doing. They're on top of everything. They've upped their game this season as well.
They have, and John Short and I, we text each other daily about this stuff, and both of us are. I can't put into words how thankful. They are, and even when we have, things that come up, hey, will you look at this on a short notice? Like if there's a tie somehow, there's somebody there to grab it, and these guys, with no disrespect to anybody else that volunteers in the league, but these guys are just, they're, to me, and I'm probably biased because I work with them, I see the stuff they do, but without them, I cringe at what our on-track product would look like. And at the end of the day, guys don't want to run in demolition derbies. Everybody wants to be in a thing where the rules apply the same no matter who you are, what team you're on, whether you're an exec, whether you're a regular driver. These guys, that's what they do. They look at each incident on their merits, and man, they just do a fantastic job. And like I said, I can't put into words how much we're thankful for. And for everybody that comes in here and thinks, wow, this is a clean league, it's because of them. And looking at things and keeping that, I hate to use the word order, but they're the ones that make sure that, hey, there's consequences if you want to come in and drive like a knucklehead.
And I'm privy to some of those like just the high level conversations, like who can grab this race or whatever, and it just blows me away how quick and responsive guys. Yeah, I can. I'll look at it as soon as lunch is over, or right after supper, or like I'll look at it right now. Just wait for sometimes they're waiting for the replay to be loaded because they're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah,
it's just remarkable. And while we're talking about that, though, I don't think either it has to be mentioned. It's too often taken for granted. John Short, Shorty has been doing this since what, Preston, season 2 maybe.
It was a little after that, but it was real close.
He's been doing this now for like 8 of our seasons. Yeah. And when you guys, when you think about every one of those pit notes, it's John Short pulling that together and putting it out day after day after day after day. And can't say enough about Shorty. And I'm so happy to see he's
kicking ass, man.
Yeah, it's not affecting his racing these days.
No.
He's won 3 Renegades races, and it's great to see Shorty.
I sent him a text either last night or this morning. I was like, all right, where'd you get your grip hack from? And but none. I know how much work, I know how much practice he puts in. He does his own sets, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he builds our team sets.
Yeah, it is wonderful.
Yeah.
To see him up front there. I'm jealous as hell.
He's always been there. Like, he's always been in the hunt, top 4, top 5. But this season, he's just taking it up another notch.
And that goes back to that 10th. I mean, that little, and once you're up in the top 5, you're talking half a tenth. So you're talking, because it's pretty easy to make that leap from running, 9th to 12th. And then, then you get into the maybe the 5th to 8th. But once you're in that top 5 and, things get real. I mean, there is very little room for error in that top 5, especially in that Renegades division.
Yeah.
And John, man, I'm not a teammate of his, but I'm just thrilled, for him and seeing him doing, and he's speechless. He texted me, he's like, man, I could have never imagined. And,
the other thing I've really enjoyed watching this season is the nervousness and excited, like coming into the booth excited and just totally pumped to. Now the last one, he remembered every sponsor. He remembered every, like, he's calm, cool.
Well, he's getting practice.
He's getting practice. Yeah, it's very, very cool. So no, it's the review committee is doing just a phenomenal job, and thanks to the Johns at the top, you guys are doing a great job coordinating that. But kudos to all the guys that are, I've said it before, the grunts. It's all the people doing that day-to-day work that has to get done, and they're knocking it out of the park. And just appreciate them all. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I would actually go through and probably name them all, but I kind of think a little anonymity.
Yeah. You don't.
It is good in there. Yeah. Hey, why'd you penalize me last week? Yeah, we don't need that going on. But, then that's just it. They, like I said, they call things on their merits, and I'll say this: we even have safeguards in there. So we don't allow the guys, if they're involved in the incident, they're not weighing in on it. If their teammate, if their teammate is in it, they're not putting in.
Yep.
So
conflict of interest.
Exactly. So like I said, it's on its merits. Each one are straight up, and that really, like I said, one of the things I love about this league, it's clean. You can run almost any division in this league. Yeah, things happen, but for the most part, I mean, if you think the grass is greener on the other side, go find it. Because I can tell you, I don't know how many times I've seen guys kind of filter away only to come back. And I know the reason they come back is, well, because you can make laps here. You can get green flag runs here. And and like I said, I think those guys are the reason it's that way.
Yep. Yeah. Huge thanks to them. It's it's the foundation of the league. It really is. And can't say enough about that. Preston, you got anything else? We've kept John, and he's still recovering from COVID, so he's been more of a gamer than.
No, I think we have a couple other things to hit, and maybe one more interview. I got a notice a couple of minutes ago, so we'll let John go and keep the train rolling.
Hey, thanks, guys, and again, thanks to everybody in the league that participates and makes this fun. And like I said, I know sometimes we might get on each other's nerves on the track, but I can tell you it's been a lot of fun being part of this league. And thank you guys for all that you do.
Well, same goes for you, John. You do quite a bit for us, and we appreciate all of it.
Hey, it was a highlight of the week last week. I think Hometown Heroes. I ran a bunch of laps with you. It was,
yes.
You didn't get away from me, and that was, for me, that was like, hey, because I don't often see you on the track, literally on the track. I don't often see your car is at the other end where mine's at. So that was fun, buddy.
So if you request me then to help you out at Volusia, what I need to do is make sure you're entering the track way late, so you're overdriving.
No. So I've had you. I'm going to go for somebody else. I'm going to request anybody but John Heyn this time.
Yeah, I was just saying, because and I do hope it happens. Guys that were behind me come help, and next thing you know, they're either competing or ahead of me. That's the goal. So, But I tell you, if you start beating me a lot, then I'm gonna have to cut you off on how many times you can come. I guess maybe I don't know.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot, and thanks for everything you do. And we will catch you on the track, buddy.
Yep. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Take care.
So, we're here for our official first live trackside report with Kevin Fry, who's at the RC Chili Bowl. How's it going, Kevin?
So far, so good. First round, I was qualified, top 25. Second round, not so good. Still trying to dial in the car a little bit more. We're sitting about 45th in my late model and about 40th in my sprint car. So
tell us a little bit about how the event works. Is the format similar to the actual Chili Bowl? I'm aware of the event, but not more than that, really.
It's actually a little bit different, just because smaller scale and just so many cars on the racetrack. We got over 600 entries here this weekend. So it's got to go fairly quick in order to get all the races in, all the heat races. Right now we're in practice. Tomorrow we'll do our seeding, which we're qualifying. Excuse me. They're taking the top 5 best laps through our run, and then that's how we're going to seed our heat races for tomorrow. Then after that we'll go to the qualifier, and then say if I win a heat race, that's 1 point for me. Second is 2 points, so on and so forth. So whoever has the lowest average throughout the week, obviously is going to be your top qualifier. Things like that. They're locking in the top 6 for the A, and then the rest of everybody else goes down to the B's, the C's, and D's, and all the way down to the I main.
So you mentioned being sitting around 40 before. That didn't mean a whole lot until you told us there were 600 and some entries. So you're still sitting towards at least the front half of the field.
Yeah, right now my sprint car, I think there's 130 something actual drivers for my sprint car, and about 119 for the late model. So
yeah,
it's not bad, but I'd much rather be up closer to the top. So.
Let's have a little view of your car there, because I thought it was a real car when you were first showing me before I saw it.
Tangled up here.
And that is pretty wild. Now, is that all custom built, Kevin?
Yeah, it's custom built. They're oval purpose cars. Now, there are some cars out there that have what they call a conversion kit. That's my late model there.
Looks like you got some work to do.
My buddy Rick Putman is let me borrow his car for this weekend, so here's the body for it.
There you go. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, that's real cool.
That's awesome. Anybody else that we would know? Is Sean Neested there? I know he's big in RC.
I don't know. I don't know him.
No.
Doing a little bit of Jesse.
I don't. Does Jesse still run those, or is that? I don't know if Jesse still runs
Jesse Bandy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. I know Scotty Edwards was a big into the RC scene, but I think he's pretty much out of it now.
Yeah, Bob Light's not there either, I guess, eh?
He is not. Yeah, he's one of the regulars that does RC too. But...
Yeah. So are you at the same place as the Chili Bowl? Is it the same building or location?
Yes. Well, I'm behind the Chili Bowl. We're behind it. We're in a different arena. So the big parking lot. The big parking lot behind for the Chili Bowl, or right behind that.
Gotcha.
Mustang Arena. Yeah.
Okay, so why aren't you over the Chili Bowl right now watching the races?
Because I'm doing a little bit of maintenance and a little bit of adjustments here for my car, so I got to make sure that everything's right before I head over there.
So you will get over there to watch the racing tonight, though?
Say that again?
You will get over there to watch some of the racing tonight?
Probably. It's going to be later, but yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Looks like I already missed
cool.
a big flip over there already. So I got one stuck in the fence, I heard.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I haven't seen much of it. I was doing pretty good in the pool as of yesterday. I had 5 in the top 12 last night. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, so you got to say hi to Glenn Stiers if you see him. Say hi to him from...
I will. Yeah, I saw his cars over there a while ago, or yesterday when I went to do a walkthrough. I saw his cars, but I didn't see him over there. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we need daily reports on the Coast to Coast Lounge.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, once we get our seatings in, I'll post up in there.
Yeah. And that's
Absolutely.
Where'd you get that banner, man? You did post the one picture with your banner. That banner is kick-ass.
Yeah, the guy that did my wraps for me, he sponsored my wraps for my cars, and did my banner for me, and he knocked it out of the park for sure.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even expect it. I was just expecting some wraps for my cars, you know. And he's like, "Hey, just let you know, there's a little small package, special package for you when you get your package." And I was like, "Well, this ain't little; it's big, and it's badass." I can't thank
show him
Vince.
some love. Show him some love. Who is it?
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah. Let me charging my phone at the same time. So.
Man. Yeah, I hadn't seen that before. That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, Vince from Rapid Graphics. He's the one that did all that. Did the wrap for me, did the banner for me. Turned out badass.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, my picture's froze, so I can't really see what you're looking at this point. But can you see the cars racing from your vantage point, or?
Not yet. Well, let me walk over there. I can walk over there.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
I'll have to. I gotta watch the podcast on Sunday for sure, just to see what I'm missing.
See all the pits here. We can pit all back here in the back. Now this class here is what they call the SC mod. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. Nope, can't zoom in. Let me get closer.
Are they similar to like Mud Boss?
No, these are like your typical IMCA modifieds and all that stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, the track's actually a lot bigger than I realized. I think some of the tracks that they've run those around here, they're significantly smaller.
So we're on a time limit. We're on about 4-minute time here. That's our practice rounds right now, but.
So after all this racing, I'm assuming the track actually does start to take some rubber.
Yeah, once we get into like Thursday, Friday, he'll rework the track every so often. Hold on.
Oh, fight.
He'll rework the track every so often. To keep it fresh, keep it moist, keep it going. But usually with later in the week, it's you get all the traction compound, all the tire compound, all that stuff in the track. So it's going to make it more of like a high bite racetrack. So it's going to start taking rubber, but that's usually don't happen until about Thursday or Friday.
So you had to adjust your setup significantly because of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll lower the car down a little bit more. Adjust the rear steer a little bit more. Absolutely.
And how does he set up the track? Like, is it by hand or is it like a garden tractor, or like what do they use to do that?
It is all I can say is it's like a ditch switch with teeth on the front of it, and it'll just sit there and just grind the track up over and over again as he's going down the racetrack. I posted a video. I'll post it in the lounge of what it looks like and what he's doing through the track here when I get done here.
Oh man. Well, from what I can tell, their review committee's going to be pretty busy.
Yeah. Pretty busy.
So do you do any flagging down there?
Nope, I am done flagging for the year. Well, till racing season comes in, but yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, buddy, we wish you nothing but the best of luck down there, and like I say, I look forward to all the posts, and I look forward to the podcast on Sunday so I can see what the hell you guys are watching, because it sounds entertaining,
right?
Anyways.
Yeah, it'll be fun for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll be looking for some updates. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time, buddy. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Good luck, buddy.
Enjoy your time. Take care.